If I had to pick one thing to get rid of in the video making process, it would be generating ideas. I mean, don't get me wrong, once I've got a good idea I can run with it perfectly fine, but there I was, smacking my head against the wall, rummaging through my game collection and browsing the eShop, in hopes of finding anything that would give me a shred of inspiration. And it was at that very moment where I came across the game and after seeing it on the eShop, I thought it would make for a pretty funny video if I tried to fully 100% this game. I could picture it all now, the title, the thumbnail, how degrading it would all feel, but I thought, you know what, for the sake of the content, I'm gonna do it. I decided to do a bit of research beforehand, you know, just to make sure I wasn't getting into anything too vulgar, and I did see this comment on a YouTube video that said, "My husband loves this game. He doesn't let me in the room while he plays it though. It gets kind of annoying when he wakes me up at 3 in the morning and tells me to go sleep on the couch so we can play Crush Crush," which might be a contender for one of the worst things I've read in my entire life. Anyway, thankfully there isn't anything too graphic in here it seems, which is good since, you know, I don't want to be dealing with all that obviously. And don't worry, I'm going to try and shoehorn as much non-Crush Crush gameplay in here as I can, since I don't want to subject your eyes to this game for anything longer than 5 minutes. And the gameplay isn't going to be of cluster trucks or Minecraft parkour, so you've got nothing to worry about. So with all that out of the way, grab a drink, subscribe to the channel, please, and while you're at it you should probably hover your cursor over the minimize button, just in case. The first thing you do as soon as you get into the game is get distracted by a pigeon and run over a girl with your bike. Talk about a good first impression. Apparently, in order to get close to the fictional girl, you're going to have to pay her medical bills. And how do you do this, you may be wondering? Well, by getting a job, of course. According to this random fairy thing who just showed up, we don't have any skills or talents yet. So for the time being, we're going to have to resort to being a burger flipper. The game basically revolves around this affection meter, with the heart icon moving up whenever you do something nice. These nice things you can do involve saying sorry, tickling them, and buying them gifts, which we don't have access to right now, but once I do, it'll make this game a whole lot easier to 100%. After waiting around a bit longer, I unlocked some more free time, which meant I now had enough time to work and take up one of my hobbies. Doing this apparently improves my suave, which honestly makes as much sense to you as it does to me. Just go with it. And after bumping up my affection meter, I was now able to gift a variety of items. And I don't think you understand just how huge this is. I bought her some hand lotion, and she went buck wild. If you haven't noticed, underneath the affection meter is a list of requirements you have to fill. These include getting 400 hearts, otherwise known as the affection meter, getting level 2 in both tech savvy and buff, which basically means I need to drop my dancing hobby and pick up some other hobbies that'll up those stats. In this case, surfing and computers. And the final requirement includes buying her a shell, which I was able to do without any issues. While in the middle of meeting the requirements, another girl popped up on the left hand side of the screen. And after realising just how many girls there actually were, I wanted to die. My goal here is to meet every single requirement of every single anime girl in this game. And if I can't do that, then I don't know whether I should be proud of myself or ashamed of myself. But after meeting all the requirements, I found out that they get replaced with even bigger requirements, labelling this challenge as virtually impossible. And after hours of racking my brain thinking of different ways to cheat the system, I finally discovered something that would make this challenge actually possible. You see, with this game, there's a thing called offline earning, which means even while you're not playing, you're still technically making money. You know, as long as you remember to boot it back up again. Which is why I've made the game-breaking decision to time travel. Every time I change the clock and return to the game, I'm rewarded with millions, which basically means I can blaze through all the requirements in record time. And this doesn't just apply to money either. I can improve my stats by time travelling as well, which means that if one of the requirements is to get level 10 in Suave, whatever the hell that means, all I have to do is start dancing, time travel a few days into the future, and hop back into the game. And before you knew it, I finished all the requirements for the first girl in record time. But I mean, that list of anime girls was pretty long, so back to the grind, I guess. And would you believe me if I said it was the exact same process for the second, third, fourth, fifth, and every other girl afterwards? Because it was. I firmly believe that if there's a hell, this is it. Just mind-numbingly 100%ing dating sims for eternity. Honestly, if I went to church and they told me that, I would repent on the spot. Anyway, I just want to quickly mention the fact that even with this new time traveling strategy, I still struggled for cash. Which I know sounds hard to believe, considering I can just whip up cash on demand, but the offline earning thing I mentioned earlier limits after a week, so the most I could possibly get from time traveling was around 2 billion, which is a good amount of money, don't get me wrong, but when someone walks over and nonchalantly demands 50 billion, you can bet your buck I had to do a hell of a lot of time traveling. And the sad thing is, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing new here. It's just the same old shit. You just sit there and watch, nothing happen. There are times where the game will ask you to go on 10 dates back to back, with each one being over 2 minutes in length. And what are the dates? Is it a cutscene? No. Is it a minigame? No. At the very least, does it contain dialogue? No. It's a still image with a timer. Are you fucking kidding me? Thank God for time traveling, because without it I would have had to look at this for 20 minutes. 20 minutes of a still image and a timer, slowly moving. And also, there are some tasks here where your goal is to upgrade your job. This bar at the bottom here indicates how far you are off upgrading, and my god does this bar move slowly. As you can see, this job here takes 926,000 whatever the fucks to upgrade. Right? But here's the thing. After I'm finished time traveling one whole week into the future, I find out that it's only gone up by 10,000. Which means that if you weren't to time travel, it would take you 93 weeks to upgrade this job once. And for those of you who don't know, that's 651 days. Almost 2 full years of constantly checking back in with the game and weeping as you watch the agonizing number slowly rise, just so you can wait for some fake 8-bit binary bitch to get off her fat pixelated ass and give you some hexadecimal which isn't gonna happen, obviously, because it's all fake. It's all just one big waste of your time. Did I 100% it? No, because you need to pay for some of it, and I'm not paying for any of this. And also, I'm not making any money from this video, so why would I? If anything, I'd just be making a terrible financial decision. And that's not even mentioning the fact that this game's already wasted 20 hours of my life, and more to be honest, because I'm gonna have to write the script, record it, edit it. You know what, just to save time, I'm gonna finish editing this video early.